Welcome back to JKPRising. Today's video could mark the beginning of something great. It could also be a rumor, so take everything I say with speculation. But the link is in the description below. Go check out the article for yourself. This was posted 3 days ago, January 18th, 2017. Dead Space 4 might have just been confirmed. Really quick, I'd like to thank Dead Space Universe for providing this link to me. I did not know about this link until I checked out Dead Space Universe. Dead Space Universe is a Facebook fan page full of passionate Dead Space fans. It is now open to the public. If you want to join our discussion about Dead Space 4 and other things about Dead Space, feel free to check out the link in the description below. Dead Space 4, guys, we have been begging for this game since the end of Dead Space 3 almost 4 years ago. And now we might be getting some answers. This could be a rumor, this could be false, this article could be fake. However, I do think there are some truths within rumors. So let's get started. The website posted below is called NeuroGadget, and from what I see, it seems to be a pretty reliable gaming network source, so let's take that with a grain of salt as well. The title says, Dead Space fans, Dead Space 4 is coming. Date unknown. Glenn Schofield is the one responsible for Dead Space, a third-person shooter game series with a large fan base. Visceral Games developed it, but it was Electronic Arts that published it. The game has a comic book series and motion pictures, with more media likely into the future. What is that hinting at, guys? Possible new comic books and motion pictures for Dead Space? We may not even just see a game, we might see a bunch of media from every single perspective of entertainment. Dead Space was first released in 2008, Dead Space 3 was released in 2013, and with 4 years gone by and no Dead Space 4, fans are wondering if there's ever going to be a Dead Space 4 at all. Word from GameSpot is that there will be another game series installment. It's currently being developed and will hit stores in the relatively near future. This is interesting because we thought Visceral Games was working on the new Star Wars game, so how can Dead Space 4 be in development if Visceral Games is working on a different project, unless they just split the teams and maybe they're doing concepts for Dead Space 4, but it says it's in development, so there has to be something made, like an alpha stage or a beta stage or something is there. Is there someone else besides Visceral Games working on Dead Space 4? Or are they going to do like a Bungie thing where ODST and Reach were developed at the same time by the same company? Let's continue reading. Visceral Games General Manager Steve, I'm not going to pronounce his last name, said the Dead Space series is not over. He said the game is extremely important to the EA publisher, and he noted that it's a game fans really love. As I said before, Dead Space 4 is not cancelled, and here's more proof confirming that it's not cancelled. The GM or General Manager said Visceral Games has been working on other games like Battlefield Hardline, and we know the new Star Wars game that's coming out next year, 2018. But to that, the team needed a break from it to do something different. He said Dead Space is one of their breakaway 2 games. Pretty much they take a break from it and then they eventually come back to it. Based on various reports, Dead Space 4 is going to be a totally different story than the previous games in the series. Now, that does not necessarily mean we're not going to focus on Isaac. It just could just be taking storytelling of the series in a different way. A good example is the new God of War game. It's the same character, but it's a totally different production from the previous games. That could be said for Dead Space 4, like a reboot, but a continuation of the story. In fact, it is believed a new line of Necromorphs will be seen in the game. He didn't provide any release date as to when Dead Space fans can see a 4th installment, but only that it's coming. That hasn't stopped the rumors in suggesting it'll be mid-2017 when it happens. Now, I don't think we're going to see Dead Space 4 come out in 2017 at all. I think that ending part of the article is false. However, they could also allude to maybe a trailer or a teaser trailer or some type of hint of Dead Space 4 from the game developers themselves. I still think 2017 is too early for Dead Space 4, but who knows? Who knows? We have finally got some type of material that confirms maybe our hopes and dreams for this game is now actually in production. So the Dead Space 4 movement has to continue going forward. Keep messaging EA, keep messaging Visceral Games, keep messaging Dead Space, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, email, comment, phone, whatever. Dead Space 4 is in development, maybe. So let's keep our voices heard, let's keep this development going, let's keep this movement pushing forward, and let's hope for some Dead Space 4 official trailer news, something, hopefully soon, maybe at E3 2017. If this article is legitimate, if it's true, that we need to let EA and Visceral Games know definitively that we want Dead Space 4. It's our time to shine. Build a discussion. Let's talk about Dead Space 4. What we want in the game, what we want to see in the game, these new lineup Necromorphs that were mentioned. There's lots to talk about. Join our discussion on Dead Space Universe. Subscribe to JKPRising if you want to see Dead Space, because I'll be actively covering Dead Space new and old. And I hope other people join me in this fight to bring Dead Space 4 and echo it into existence. Let me know what you think about the article below. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's legitimate? Do you think there's anything in there that holds some form of truth? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed anything I had to say, remember to leave a like on the video. Let's talk about Dead Space 4. And remember, let's keep stirring the pot. I'll see you next time.